to rededicate themselves to the virtues of hard work, diligence, and credibility. He made this appeal in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Ayomiku Ajibala completes the report.
The president who gave the convocation lecture urged Nigerian youth to look beyond university education and acquire skills that will help them to better advance their careers. He encouraged young graduates particularly to be diligent and take advantage of various international training platforms to improve their status.
If you can be trusted, if people find you trustworthy, the class of degree you have will not matter. Everybody is looking for a trustworthy person to partner with or to employ as you step out into the world. Never be afraid to try. Never be afraid of failing. Every great success usually has some stories of many failures. Don't let the past tie you down.
Professor Oshibajo urged the graduate students and others in higher institutions across the country to be innovative to liberate the nation from dependency on developed nations of the world. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
And all eyes on Anambra now. It's last-minute preparations for the November 6 Anambra State governorship election. Preparations even in the area of peace building as candidates sign peace accord in Oka. Mia Ogidi reports.
It is a tipping point at the Anambra governorship election, but having peace is crucial, so time to preach peace. The General Abu Salami Abubakar Peace Committee is here, committing the 18 candidates to ensure violent-free poll.
We call on all the candidates, their parties and supporters to accept the outcome of the vote. We cherish Anambra State and we cherish the peace and unity of Nigeria.
That just like Edo and Ondo, the election on Saturday will be peaceful and the outcome will reflect the will of the Anambra voters. INEC has done everything possible to ensure credible elections in Anambra State under very challenging circumstances.
The coast getting clearer for the poll, so the umpire, INEC, takes the political parties to the Central Bank of Nigeria, Oka branch, for confidence building, as it were, checking the sensitive materials, all intact, and distribution of non-sensitive materials to the wards ongoing. As the materials get to the wards, the security personnel also on alert for any uncertainty.
We're also getting very strong support and collaboration from the military and the rest of them. And we're working together to ensure we deliver to the people of Anambra a conducive environment for them to exercise their franchise and a safe environment for the conduct of a very credible and fair elections.
Anambra is calm. The prayer is still more peace as the clock ticks. Mia Ogede, NTA News.
And in the meantime, the Southeast governors are asking security agencies deployed for the Anambra election to give adequate security cover during the exercise. In a statement, the Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi, on behalf of the Southeast governors, thanked the federal government and the Independent National Electoral Commission for their determination to hold the election as scheduled on the 6th of November. The governors gave assurances of every support to ensure a free, fair, and violence-free election. The Southeast governors asked eligible voters in Anambra State to go out and vote for the candidate of their choice. The governors added that they have realized that the insecurity in the Southeast has gone beyond the prescribed IPOB, adding that cultists, armed robbers, and kidnappers have recruited themselves and are using the name of the outlawed IPOB. Similarly, the Southeast Governors Forum says it has identified some of the spokespersons for various agitators issuing illegal orders of a sit-at-home in the region and is working to address the problem. The group appreciates Ohaneze Ndigbo, religious leaders, and the Christian Association of Nigeria for their interventions and mediatory roles. And as part of measures aimed at protecting the sanctity of the electoral process in the November 6 Anambra State governorship election, the Inspector General of Police, Usman Alkali Baba, has ordered the restriction of vehicular movement in and out of Anambra State from Friday 11:59 p.m. to 11:59 p.m. on Saturday. The IGP noted that the restriction order has become necessary following pointers from the election security threats assessments conducted by the force, which indicate a likelihood of infiltration by criminally minded individuals into Anambra State before, during, and after the polls. The IGP further noted that the measure would also avail security forces a firm grip of the state to checkmate the movement of political thugs and touts and prevent the free flow, circulation, and use of illicit arms and hard drugs throughout the period and beyond. He acknowledged that police officers and other security personnel deployed for the election will be appropriately supervised to ensure they carry out their responsibilities in the most humane, firm, and professional manner, especially to those providing essential services. He called on citizens to go out en masse on election day and exercise their franchise without any fear or apprehension, as the force and other security agencies are already on ground to ensure a safe and conducive environment for the election. And the Controller General of Corrections, Haliru Nababa, has declared all custodial centers red zone. This was made known by the Deputy Controller General of Corrections in charge of operations, Tukur Ahmed, during his confidence-building visit to Anambra State, preparatory to the November 6 governorship election. The DCG, who in company of the Controller of Corrections, Anambra State Command, Pat Chukwuemeka, visited Awka and Onitsha custodial centers, urged personnel to be professional and security conscious, stressing that on no account should there be security lapses in any of the custodial centers in the state. The statement by Francis Ekeze, Public Relations Officer of the Anambra State Command, indicates that Tukur admonished staff, especially the armed squad, to be on the alert to avert any incursions from men of the underworld before, during, and after the election. He encouraged them to collaborate and seamlessly work with sister agencies who have been drafted to support the men at the custodial centers for effective security. He later visited the state headquarters of the Nigeria Police, where he had closed-door discussions with the Commissioner of Police on security issues, and he expressed his satisfaction on the security structure on ground. Well, let's now join our correspondent, Nnamdi Odipo, who is live in Awka, the Anambra State capital, for the election. Nnamdi, can you hear me? Apart from the security assurances, what's your own observation on the mood generally as we approach the election day?
Cyril, we generally, so goes for other parts of Anambra State. We have been to Onitsha, the commercial city of Anambra State. We've been to some parts of Njikoka. Earlier today, I was somewhere around Agwata, and it's the same story for every part of these states that I've been to. The people are calm. The people, yes, they are somewhat tense, considering what has transpired in the weeks, in the months leading to these exercise, and that's to be expected. But of course, seeing what the police and sister agencies have done, there's this relative calm, and it's growing amongst the people, and expectations is that it would continue until Saturday, when the exercise will properly kick off. And we expect that it would also translate to people coming out to participate in the polls. It's a calm night. We've been
we've been sending in reports all day since, I think since 4 p.m. today when we joined nationwide earlier, and we did tell you at the time that the people of camp, we told you we had the opportunity to speak to a couple of persons ranging from the young to the middle age and the aged, and they transmitted their willingness and readiness to participate in the exercise, provided that the security agencies provide the cover for them to come out and vote. And of course, Cyril, maybe I should just quickly bring this up.
Right.
The INEC chairman, Yakubu Mahmoud, even though he had reiterated time and again that INEC would ensure credible elections, even in difficult situations. I mean, did say so yesterday and reiterated same fact today, and so we expect that, knowing, of course, a bit of what has transpired, not just to Anambra people, but to INEC itself. I say, if you recall, INEC offices were attacked here in Anambra State.
Yeah.
They suffered losses to key equipment and material that were scheduled to have been used for this exercise. But of course, INEC quickly recovered, and they are saying they are poised for this exercise, and they are ready to ensure that not only the people come out, but that people would experience credible, free, and fair elections, Cyril.
Okay, right. You've already mentioned a part of it. The high-level assurances have been given by security agencies, and from the feelers you have communicated to us here, they are keen to come out and be part of the historic event. But let me just ask you this quickly. How about our own constituency, the media? Are they raring to go and to give us everything as it happens on ground? Well, NTA has taken a lead in that, but looking across at other media organs.
But of course, Cyril, I mean, we're not exempt from the feeling from, of course, we're part of this environment. We know what is happening. And so we're applying caution as well, of course, knowing what has transpired in the past. The media has not been exempt from some of the fallouts of insecurity in this state. There are accounts of reporters being kidnapped in the past. There have been attacks, as a matter of fact, in the past. And so, of course, the security agencies have promised to provide cover for us, even as we cover this election. But of course, we are applying some level of self-caution as well. I mean, it's part of what we've been trained for. And this is a constitutional duty for us. I mean, we know what the risks are, but we're willing to take them. I mean, of course, like I did say, we would apply some level of personal caution. In doing so, we're set to carry out this constitutional mandate.
All right.
Cyril.
Okay, Nnamdi, thank you so much for updating us on what's on ground. We appreciate that, and mate, stay safe. Okay, Nnamdi Odipo, live in Awka. In the meantime, the National Broadcasting Commission has reminded all broadcast media covering the Anambra State governorship election to be guided by the code and regulations on election coverage. In a statement, the Director General of NBC, Balarabe Shehu Ilela, says the use of inciting language or scenes to create chaos, as well as campaign 24 hours to election and speculation of election results, are all against the law. The Commission implores the media organs not to allow their platforms to be used to cause a breakdown of law and order. Now to other news now. The House of Representatives Committee on Culture and Tourism is set to investigate the shortfall in the 2021 budget allocation for the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Chairman of the committee, Omorige Ogbeide Ihama, announced this when Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed appeared before the committee to defend his ministry's 2022 budget proposal, as well as give account of its 2021 budget performance. Anthony Forson reports.
Information and Culture Minister, while giving a breakdown of the ministry's releases for the year 2021 up to September, noted that there was a shortfall of the sum of 1.1 billion naira, which translates to 33% of the total budget.
I proposed 3 billion and they took away 1.1 billion out of it. And by that, I was paralyzed completely. There was nothing I could do. And of course, National Assembly is like a Supreme Court. Once they give a verdict, there's no other court to appeal to. So I'm extremely, distressed.
Reacting to the shortfall, chairman of the committee expressed surprise.
For clarity purposes, it is important that I state on behalf of the Culture and Tourism Committee that your budget, as proposed last year, did not leave the committee with anything more than 5% alterations. There are systems and procedures we use, and there are guidelines we use, and this committee adhered to it clearly. I will, after this budget defense, I will have to set up a small committee that will look into your budget for 2021, as alleged that 1.1 billion, 33% was taken off your budget.
Explaining the mandate of the ministry as it concerns culture and tourism, Lai Mohammed said it is proposing the sum of 778 million naira for capital project as it relates to culture in the 7.8 billion naira proposal for the year 2022. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
And it's time for our first break now. Stay with us. We'll be back shortly.
Tega, bring that chair for me.
Are you ready for the world's biggest breakdance competition? Enter Globe Battle of the Year Nigeria and win Mega Millions in prize money. Globe Battle of the Year Nigeria is here.
Hello. Hello, Kenny. If you make 10 tops by this time next week, sharp.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, talk later.
One day, we get money now.
I go go any store and say I want everything. One day.
Hi, Pikin, how you doing?
Papa, I say make I remind you about that loan.
Loan, I beg.
Hello, Papa.
Your move. Hello, sister of life.
I won't remind you of that loan. Hello?
Hello, Oga. Your clothes are ready.
Access to finance is a major challenge for small businesses in Nigeria. But now you can level up. DBN offers sustainable financing through commercial banks, microfinance banks, and other participating financial institutions with repayment terms of up to 10 years. Need a loan? Talk to your bank today. For more information on the participating financial institution, visit devbankng.com.
Development Bank of Nigeria. Financing sustainable growth.
The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, hereby states that it is presently changing the old overloaded 132 kV Ikeja West, Alimosho, Ogba, Alausa, Ota, Papalanto 240 megawatts transmission line with a new high-capacity 500 megawatts transmission line to solve the problem of poor power supply in Ikeja West, Papalanto axis of Lagos State. Presently, the 5 power stations along that line route have a total capacity of 570 megawatts, but is only able to deliver 240 megawatts because of the old undersized transmission line. As the area continues to experience continued increase in human population and socio-economic activities, the demand for electricity supply will grow, and if the line is left without upgrade, electricity supply would soon be impossible in the area. TCN had to take the hard decision of reconductoring the old 132 kV transmission line, but bearing in mind the importance of power supply, TCN is carrying out the line replacement work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Electricity is restored by 6 p.m. in the evening to 8 a.m. in the morning daily. This is estimated to last for another 4 weeks from now. We sincerely apologize for every inconvenience and solicit the support and understanding of the Lagos State Governor and electricity consumers in the affected areas to enable the successful completion of this project, which when completed will greatly improve power supply through our substations in Ikeja West and Papalanto axis of Lagos State. Announcer, Management.
Again,
Let's gather as we celebrate the uniqueness of our cultural diversity, showcasing our creativity and ingenuity. It's the 34th National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST 2021, in the ancient city of Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, a land of honor and pride. Theme: celebrating national unity in diversity. Date: Saturday 13th to Saturday 20th November 2021. Highlights will include drama, children poetry performance, essay writing competition, crafts competition, indigenous cuisine, indigenous fabrics and royal apparel, cultural quiz competition, board games. Oh yes, it's the 34th National Festival of Arts and Culture, Ekiti 2021, Ekiti State, Nigeria. Date: 13th to 20th November 2021. We are celebrating our cultural heritage. Otumba Olusegun Runshewe, DG, National Council for Arts and Culture, Anambra.
Oh my God, which medication are you giving this baby?
Medication? I have given him all sorts.
Have you given him Bonababe?
Bonababe?
Yes, Bonababe.
Naturally, babies cannot speak. All they do is cry whenever they're sick. And you know, a happy baby makes a happy mother. When your baby is going through aches, fever or pains, allergic cough, including discomfort associated with teething pains, treat your baby with Bonababe syrup. Bonababe is manufactured by Bond Chemical Industries Limited, makers of Bond Paracetamol. Bonababe syrup contains paracetamol and chlorpheniramine, available in pharmacies near you. If symptoms persist after 3 days, please consult your doctor.
I use it for you when you are a baby.
Thank you, Grandma.
Thanks for staying with us. President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has said that cementing the unity of Nigeria has always been among the major objectives of the 9th National Assembly. He stated this at the Government House building Kebbi when he paid a courtesy visit to the Kebbi State Governor, Abubakar Atiku Bagudu. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
The Senate President, Senator Ahmad Lawan, described Nigeria's unity as an important pillar for national development. He stressed that, as leaders by right, the 9th Senate will continue to preach the gospel of understanding and national unity amongst Nigerians. He acknowledged the bipartisan nature of the 9th Assembly in resolving on issues that will move the country forward.
And that is one thing that we all have to do. We are leaders in our own rights. We have to continue to preach for peace. We have to continue to preach for understanding. We need to continue to bring Nigerians closer to each other. Ordinarily, most average Nigerians are people that love Nigeria.
Senator Lawan described Kebbi State as a strategic base for APC in Nigeria, acknowledging the contributions of the 3 senators from Kebbi State at the National Assembly. He solicited for continued support between the National Assembly and the Progressive Governors Forum. The Senate President equally condoled the governor over the death of a relative and an elder statesman, Alhaji Garbat Andiga, who passed on recently. Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu thanked the Senate President and his entourage for the visit.
It's important to support you and the President in ensuring that Nigeria takes its place of pride in the Committee of Nations. So we are glad that they have done us proud.
The governor lauded President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's policy and programs deliberately designed to keep the country's engines running. Usman Abdullahi Shehu. And
the House of Representatives Committee on Army has urged the federal government to, in line with the resolution passed by the National Assembly, designate bandits as terrorists. By so doing, the menace can be decisively dealt with by authorities. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that this came up when the Training and Doctrine Command of the Nigerian Army appeared for budget defense.
Consistent threats of bandits to peace and security in areas they operate is of concern to Nigerians. The committee used this budget defense meeting to task Chadok to provide the kind of training that enables effective response to challenges of insecurity.
The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, to designate bandits as terrorists so that the security forces can have more power to deal with the situation.
Train and Doctrine Command, Nigerian Army is committed to train very mobile, dynamic, fierce, gallant, and ever-ready Nigerian youths into the Nigerian Army who wish to defend the territorial integrity of their fatherland.
As the budget performance appraisal session with the Minister of Power, he told the House Committee on Power that the Zungeru hydropower project will be completed in December 2021. The committee asked what the ministry is doing about the absence of electricity supply in Maiduguri, Borno State, for close to a year.
They were unable to continue to work at the time they wanted to work because of security reasons.
Solar home system. We would like, it's a very laudable project of the president. I've seen it work, so we have to really make it work.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Pilgrims Affairs has urged the Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board to ensure reimbursement of deposits to intending pilgrims who could not perform the pilgrimage due to COVID-19 pandemic.
We have a backlog of pilgrims from 2019, 2020, 2021, and 2022, inshallah. That is if. How do you intend to persuade the Saudi authorities to maybe increase allocation?
The new Minister of Hajj in Saudi Arabia was their former Minister of Health. And that is sending some signal. And so we want to be careful.
The Commission is proposing 1.4 billion naira for capital projects in 2022. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And the Minister of Transportation, Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, says the federal government is focused on completing the ongoing land transport projects across the country and the national freight offices at Ilela, Jibia and Idiroku. He made this known when he defended the ministry's 2022 budget of 148.2 billion naira before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Land and Marine Transport. Ignatius Nkwo reports.
National Assembly Joint Committee on Land and Marine Transport scrutinizing the 2021 budget performance and 2022 proposals of the Minister of Transportation. The minister submitted that the 2022 budget will concentrate on completing all ongoing projects, complete and deliver modern railway services that will attract growth and job opportunities for Nigerians.
It is not as if this government has not approved standard gauge for Port Harcourt, Maiduguri. But what is politically, practically possible is that they must have railway before we leave. Or if they don't have it, they must see that we're constructing before we leave.
The committee demanded to know the status of the proposed Ibadan to Kano railway line.
Already as we're talking now, we don't even have the money to do Ibadan to Kano. That's why on our own, we are funding Kano to Kaduna while looking for the money.
Ensuring that what is due to the Council for the Delegation of Freight Forwarding in Nigeria is given to them.
The management of the Nigeria Port Authorities also defended its 2022 budget before the Senate Committee on Maritime Transport, with 77.37 billion naira projected to be transferred to the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the Federation. At the Senate Joint Committee on Health and Primary Health Care and Communicable Diseases was the Minister of Health, who was advised by the committee to commence disbursement of the Cancer Health Management Fund by the first week of December 2021. The Permanent Secretary, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Maurice Mberi, on behalf of the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19, explained that out of the 24 billion naira received by the committee, 14.1 billion has been utilized.
The Cancer Fund is operated as counterpart fund, aimed at attracting contributions from private sector and other stakeholders to treat patients who meet indigent patient selection criteria.
Don't wait even for the development partners before whatever private that will bring. With Nigerian money, let it start.
There was also funds from the NMPC of 203,584,595 naira.
The Permanent Secretary noted that the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 did not receive any budgetary allocation in 2021. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Well, involving the people in determining the projects to be executed by the government is the best fiscal policy for a people-oriented government. This is the submission of stakeholders at the annual interactive meeting on budget in Gombe State. Emmanuel Akila reports.
The Inua Yahaya administration introduced the stakeholders' engagement on the budget in 2019 to set every fiscal year's process in motion. And this has been the compass that guides the government on project execution so far.
It's not Inua Yahaya's budget, neither is it Mr. Speaker's budget, it's not other members' budget, it's not the executive budget, it's the people's budget. So if you discuss here and prioritize and say this is the way you go, fine and good. No Jupiter on earth will come and chase us from the course that we have taken, because I believe it is a positive course.
The stakeholders' interactive meeting on the budgetary process provides an opportunity to the people of Gombe State to have a voice on projects they consider important, which they want the government to execute for the state.
There are youth who are engaged doing handmade shoes, bags, and what have you. If the government of Gombe State will allocate and give them the technicalities they need to know to do this and a take-off grant, I think it will go a long way.
Gombe State has a 10-year development plan to guide every fiscal policy.
And whatever inputs we collect here today will form part of government's proposed budget for 2022 to be submitted to the House of Assembly for legislation.
Next in the budget process is the presentation of a draft fiscal document to the executive by the Ministry of Finance. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
And speaking of nationhood now, Nigeria will remain a strong nation if people emphasize on citizenship and what binds them together, as well as downplay their differences. This was the position at this year's public lecture on the unity of Nigeria, organized by Arewa Media Interactive and Development Forum in Kaduna. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachiku reports.
Agitations, insurgency, banditry and kidnapping are among major defense and security challenges confronting the northern region. This national lecture series, convened by Arewa Media Interactive and Development Forum with the theme Unity in Diversity, brings together stakeholders to speak on the issues with a view to coming up with implementable solutions to the problems.
With so many reports, so many comments, so many opinions of political heavyweights and non-political heavyweights on Nigeria's unity, I think it is important, it is high time we invite one of the most respected Nigerians in the person of the governor of Ibom State.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, guest speaker, and Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Udom Emmanuel, as well as other speakers, believe Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable.
Unity is not about homogeneity or tolerance. It is about accepting the diversity and differences between us, not using these differences as a yardstick for judging others.
It is my sincere hope that we will leave this place as harbingers of this message of unity, so we can begin the process of healing and reuniting our country, safe in the knowledge that whatever language we speak, whatever culture we espouse, and whatever religion we practice, we are all Nigerians.
Stakeholders say that deliberate steps to unite the country, devoid of sentiment, must remain sacrosanct.
For the forum, our colleagues, the journalists, and the general public. So the agenda set, we are going to work on it and ensure that there is unity in diversity.
Arewa Media Interactive and Development Forum has been organizing a series of lectures on topical national issues since 2002. Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun, NTA News.
And next we go over to Hingino in Lagos for more reports. Hingino.
Thank you, Cyril. An initiative that will uplift the development and production of homegrown medicines, vaccines, and technological innovations, which will greatly assist in addressing health challenges in Nigeria and Africa in general, has been launched in Lagos. Imoleayo Tokede Ogunfowora witnessed the event tagged Nigerian Institute of Medical Research Foundation and now reports.
Nigeria,
Africa's largest economy faces a high global burden of diseases such as malaria, HIV, tuberculosis, Lassa fever, cholera, and the raging COVID-19. This has been attributed largely to the insufficient number of world-class researchers and scientists to conduct research that will inform policies and development of vaccines, medicines, and technologies.
We have therefore proposed and registered a charity arm of our institute, the Nigerian Institute of Medical Research Foundation, a private not-for-profit organization to support NIMA in the actualization of our mandate and provide support for Nigerian researchers.
Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, who is the chairman, Incorporated Trustees of the NIMA Foundation, admonished Nigerians and non-Nigerians alike to support in raising 10 billion naira for the foundation.
And you begin to see it in terms of employment it will create, businesses it will create.
And that's why my colleagues have made it clear that we must support this cause.
Director General of the NTA represented lauded the initiative.
With this foundation that is on ground now, we can actually do research and produce our vaccines. The economy will be better for it.
Individuals and government officials pledged their donations for the foundation. The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research Foundation, established in February 2020, also has a mandate to fund research-based postgraduate programs of selected junior and mid-level researchers. In Lagos, Imole Ayotokede Ogunfowera, NTA News.
Away from health now, the implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act is germane to President Muhammadu Buhari with regards to critical deliverables in the upstream sector. Chief Executive, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, Komolafe Gbenga, in a stakeholders engagement, emphasized on the need for a synergy to develop the oil and gas industry. Abolade Salami reports.
The oil and gas sector remain vital to economic sustainability and development. In this regard, policy reforms and innovative technologies are regularly applied to encourage operators in mid and upstream sectors. With the plans to deliver critical deliverables from the Petroleum Industry Act in the shortest possible time on the development of the upstream sector, key stakeholders in the oil trade production section are comparing notes with the Commission on areas of concern as regards project investments in the upstream operations.
We are going to regulate in the best practices, ensure transparency in the industry that will, as much as possible, work strenuously to address their challenges. And that is the key objective for me coming here, to listen to them.
The establishment of the Commission, operators said, will form a major milestone in the reform being made in Nigeria's petroleum sector, especially with the passage of the Petroleum Industry Act. They noted that OPTS would need collaboration with the Commission regarding installation of flare meters, as well as gas flare and monetization plan.
We will gladly engage with you and your team on discussions towards understanding of the challenges that we all face and moving forward in collaboration.
The industry only benefits when the regulator and the key players are working in tandem.
The Commission assured industry players in the upstream sector of a just and fair regulation as critical enabler in the development of petroleum operations. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
It's time for another break. Network News will be back shortly.
Plus is here, and every day is now Christmas. Existing Glow customers will get 400% bonus on every recharge and 100 MB data bonus on first recharge of the month. New customers will get an unmatched 1,000 Naira welcome bonus. To activate, buy a new Glow SIM today or dial *777# for existing Glow customers.
How to make a perfect bowl of love? A perfect blend of taste that brings every ingredient to life. The fusion of different spices. The unique aroma that rejuvenates your senses. the heartwarming deliciousness, and the satisfaction that comes from every bite, which makes you say, I love my Indomie.
I remember then, when they asked me, oh, what do you want to do in future, I always say I want to be a newscaster.
There are a lot of times I have told Trust that I don't believe you can't see. Trust is always ready to do something extra. He's always coming out to say, can I do a bit more? My mind was, where would this stop? How can I be going with a blind child from this age? How will I cope? He will always come to me, Mommy, I know I can't see, but don't bother, Mommy.
My wife now said, let him just go to village and relax. As they were going, he had accident. And the one that Trust was following, I lost the boy in the accident. When the scholarship came, it's as if they put water on a dry pot. That's how our joy was bubbling. If not, I don't know whether Trust could have graduated with his colleagues.
Life is a journey. You have to make that journey work.
Hear the super exciting news? What have you heard? GoTV's going super.
Are you serious?
Bringing new channels with super awesome novellas, super duper kid shows,
all right,
and super slamming WWE 24/7. All at the super cool price of 5,500 Naira. Good. Get GoTV's brand new package. GoTV Super.
Chelsea will be hoping to continue a hat-trick of victories against teams in the relegation zone when they welcome Burnley to Stamford Bridge. Will they succeed this Saturday? It's Chelsea versus Burnley on the Premier League Live, showing on the network service of the NTA from 3:30 p.m. The Premier League Live is brought to you by Baba Ijebu and powered by Integral.
And back in Abuja, our next business is business news with Benny. Benny?
Thank you, Cyril, and welcome to Business. The 22nd OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting has reaffirmed the continued commitment of the participating countries in the declaration of cooperation to ensure a stable and balanced oil market that is efficient and secure supply to consumers at all times. The meeting, which held via video conference, also resolved to reconfirm the production adjustment plan and adjustment mechanism approved at the 19th OPEC and non-OPEC ministerial meeting, and the decision to adjust upward the monthly overall production by 0.4 million barrels per day for the month of December 2021. Others are the decision to conform to the compensation mechanism, which will last to end of December 2021. And the president and chairman of the board of directors of the ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, Dr. George Donko, has urged African governments to explore ways of maximizing the positive effects of the digital revolution on their citizenry to ensure that Africa is not left behind. Speaking on the theme, how the digital revolution can shape Africa's future, Dr. Donko said the digital environment has enabled the creation of a single market, digital markets, encourage synergies and partnerships at all possible levels for greater efficiency, which he says have offered enormous opportunities to increase trade and investment on the continent. Donko is of the view that such an opportunity could be leveraged to support the effective rollout and facilitation of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which he says is necessary for deepening regional integration, achieving economic growth and sustainable development in Africa. And on the capital market, investors lost 16.50 billion naira as the all-share index dipped further by 0.08%, closing at 41,943.83 basis points. Capitalization is 21.8 trillion naira. 160.8 million shares valued at 1.4 billion naira exchanged hands in 3,688 deals. Market breadth closed negative as SCOA led 13 gainers as against 24 losers, topped by Farmdeco. FBNH, La Saco, and Transcorp led market value list. That is business news. Cyril, take it from here.
Thanks, Benny. And as the federal government continues to tackle security challenges in the country, the Nigerian media is lending its voice to the conversation on finding lasting solutions. Victoria Kaswa Ujito reports that the conversation, which brought women journalists from across the country to Lafia, Nasarawa State, pushed for the active participation of the media in crisis management.
Hafsa travels all the way from Bauchi to Lafia to join the conversation on how best she can contribute in ending insecurity in the country.
Insecurity is multifaceted. We must also attack it from different dimensions and then using different means that we have.
The conversation here highlights the role of the media on national security and the need for them to be patriotic as well as nationalistic in their reportage while working in synergy with security agencies.
There is the need for an understanding between security agencies and media to balance the equation. This is why this security summit is put in place to identify the gaps.
Let us change our ways. Let us stop giving publicity to those that don't wish this country well.
We must put the country and the front burner as we go about plying our trade. If we destroy this country, there's no other country we're going to call our own.
Nasarawa and Borno State government cautioned media practitioners against sensationalism and biased reportage aimed at causing disaffection, just as security agencies seek robust partnership with the media on intelligence gathering. The summit has as its theme security and national interest, the role of the media. In Lafia, Victoria Kaswa Ujito, NTA News.
And we go over to Zenret in Jos for more reports. Zenret.
Cyril. Plateau State government says it will give maximum support to the newly redeployed Commissioner of Police in his efforts to reduce crime to the barest minimum. Governor Simon Lalong stated this in Jos while receiving the new Commissioner of Police, Bartholomew Onyeka. Priscilla Grumnan reports.
The new Commissioner of Police expresses readiness to contribute his quota to the peace and development of the state. He solicited the cooperation of citizens in crime prevention.
My policy is that I deeply believe in policing, and I promise to contribute my quota towards ensuring that the peace on the plateau is sustained. So I will bring the weight of experience I've had. This is not my first time of being in Plateau. Plateau, in fact, is a known terrain to me.
Governor Simon Lalong urges the new CP to consolidate on the achievements of his predecessor.
Peace has been our cardinal principle in the state. It's always peace, peace, peace. And anytime we see something breaking it, we will definitely find ways of addressing the issue. And as you come into Plateau, you say you are familiar with Plateau already. I don't need to tell you where Plateau is. You already know, and definitely my own is to pray that God will provide the wisdom.
The former CP, Edward Egbuka, has been redeployed to Force Headquarters, Abuja. In Jos, Priscilla Grumnan, NTA News.
Federal Road Safety Corps says it will sustain its safety awareness until road users to a large extent comply with its rules and regulations on the highway. This was at a training for safety managers and motorists in Jos. Cameron Kaneng-Ladoja reports.
The FRSC Road Transport Safety Standardization Scheme requires the Corps to inspect fleet operators and their activities regularly. The training is therefore for the safety managers and drivers of fleet operators on driving and maneuvering skills, road safety rules, and other methods of keeping the roads crash-free.
There are standards that are expected to be in the vehicle itself, the owner of the fleet himself, and then the drivers themselves. Are these standards met?
We have to go down to the level of identifying who moves this vehicle. Then who manages the vehicles and the drivers, the safety managers. We have to train them.
The safety operators were advised on ways to entrench safety culture within their organizations and promote professionalism amongst their drivers.
We are conveyors of human lives. It's very important that we have our drivers trained for the purpose of efficiency in driving.
We are the conveyors of product, most especially emblematic products. And if the drivers are not skillful, they are not defensive, I don't think that they can handle it properly.
The workshop usually dwells on the need for fleet operators to entrench proper road regulations and to develop an effective fleet transportation system in the country. In Jos, Ekemaran Kaneng-Ladoja, NTA News.
And that's it from here. The news continues with Cyril in Abuja.
Thank you, Zenred. And staying with safety on the roads, the Federal Road Safety Corps Command and Staff College, UDI, has inaugurated the Senior Course 1 for Senior Management at the Command and Staff College, UDI. Correspondent Mina Adobi Ukawase reports that the inauguration was by the Joint Senate and House Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs.
Led by the Special Guest of Honor and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, ably represented by Minister of Labor and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, the Joint Senate and House Committee on Federal Character and Intergovernmental Affairs started the event by commissioning some vital projects at the FRSC Command and Staff College, UDI. During the inauguration, the Corps Marshal said the Corps now has the full complement of the core courses in the college with the Senior Course 1 and enumerated some of the achievements of the Command and Staff College.
Also this year, precisely on 6th May 2021, the Corps inauguration of the FRSC Marshal Inspectorate Training School at Owale, Delta State, an institution built solely for the Corps by the government of Delta State.
Enugu State Governor, represented, eulogized the activities of the Command and Staff College under Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi and agrees that the inauguration of the Senior Course 1 was apt. Chairman FRSC Board Buhari Bello said the Senior Course 1 is a testimony of the FRSC commitment to improving personal capacity. He emphasized that it is in tandem with the vision of the Corps to ensure capacity development. Special Guest of Honor and Secretary to the Government of the Federation, represented by Minister of Labor and Employment, said the Senior Course 1 is a welcome development, especially as it further elevates the status and standard of qualification of marshals.
I must confess my pleasure at the level of infrastructural development and readiness for the college to take off today. It also shows that with mutual respect, understanding and trust, Nigeria can grow in leaps and bounds across board.
In Enugu, Mina Adobi Kowasi, NTA News.
Games masters and athletes are currently undergoing a 3-day workshop preparatory to sports competition for internally displaced persons organized by the North-East Development Commission in collaboration with Mustafa Sports Consult. Deputy Governor of Borno State, Umar Usman Kadafur, declared the training open at Government House, Maiduguri, on behalf of the Governor, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum. Mohammed Ibrahim reports.
Engaging the youths in gainful ventures such as sports is a veritable tool for societies to recover from devastation of insurgency. Hence, this workshop for game masters and athletes drawn from the grassroots. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum, represented by Deputy Governor Umar Usman Kadafur, while declaring the event open, explained that with relative peace picking up, the state government has kick-started resettlement of IDPs to be concluded before the end of the year and commended the organizers for the timely training, calling for engagement of more beneficiaries.
Government through its youth empowerment scheme strive to make our youth gainfully employed within its limited resources.
Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the North-East Development Commission, Dr. Muhammad Goni Alkali, said development of sports in communities affected by the Boko Haram insurgency through such training seeks to heal their traumatic experiences and promote social cohesion through games to include football, volleyball, badminton, as well as track and field events.
The Game Master Workshop will enhance the skill of the coaches by exposing them to modern ways of handling games.
Guest speaker Professor Ibrahim Umara delivered a lecture on sports as a means of social cohesion, a unifying force and healing of trauma, noting the training will impact on engaging idle youths to become sports entrepreneurs. Other messages came from the military, police, civil defense, and the State Emergency Management Agency, who commended the NEDC for its wide-ranging interventions and assured of security for sports. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
And that concludes Network News tonight. Thank you for watching. Be a star. Stand against rape and rapists with the NTA. I'm Cyril Stover. Good night.